Well, just an update on this Highland Park shooter because I don't know if everybody's keeping up with it or if you're hearing. So, obviously he's arrested, and there's more things coming out on how the government failed. Remember, the government just freaked out at the last shooting because the guy bought a gun when he was under 21, and they wanted to pass all these laws that would keep people safe if we just raised the limit to 21. And this guy's 21. Guess what they'll be saying next? It's just BS. I mean, remember, there are hundreds of millions of guns in the hands of citizens that did nothing wrong. And yet, every time, these dirty bastards in Congress want to infringe on good people. So, here we go.
And Terrell, the suspect, is expected to make his first court appearance here this morning. This after charges are filed. And we're learning that mass shooting had been planned for weeks. This morning, 21-year-old...
Okay, so it was planned for weeks, and they're learning this. Guess a couple search warrants came out. I haven't got any of them yet, but in the search warrants, it said he had planned it for weeks. And he was sponsored by his parents to get a gun, and he bought the guns legally, and the government failed to stop him on the background. The federal government failed to stop him on the background, and the local ISP failed to stop him when on the FOIA request.
Robert Crimo III charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. Prosecutors say it's just the beginning.
Attempt murder charges, aggravated discharge charges, aggravated battery charges. There will be dozens of more charges against Mr. Crimo.
Earlier.
So let me give you guys a little tip here. My buddy that works ISP, Illinois State Police, he gets guns all the time off people. And his state's attorney dropped the charges or does not charge them. See, they don't really want gun laws for criminals. They want gun crime so they can pass more gun laws for good people. I just wish everybody would remember that when they start feeling like, oh, more laws would be better.
Investigators released this image allegedly showing Crimo dressed in women's clothing around the time police say he fired more than 70 rounds at parade goers.
Okay, so it came out, he shot 70 rounds. He I think 6 or 8 people. I'm not sure on the numbers. But the fact that he planned and brought women's clothes and planned his thing out, I mean, that's really like lying in wait. That's the definition of first-degree murder. I mean, this is... And you know what? They're talking about he's going to get life in prison. And we're going to have all these other charges. And we're going to charge him with 500 gun laws that didn't work. But we're going to charge him with them after all the people are dead. But if we had more laws, then it would work. It's just bullshit.
After climbing a fire escape to a rooftop.
Following the attack, Crimo exited the roof. He dropped his rifle, and he blended in with the crowd, and he escaped.
Police say Crimo then walked to his mother home nearby and drove her
So he ran to mommy's home. Shocking.
10 Honda to the Madison, Wisconsin area before returning to Illinois, where he was spotted and arrested.
So this is the first footage I've seen of the arrest. I don't know why they're like being so secretive, but I didn't know if he had his hands up. He had guns in the car, and he didn't shoot it out with them. And that should be a big clue with people. These cowards, these sick pieces of shit that go out and shoot unarmed people, it is not a gun issue. I don't know how many times I got to say it.
In the car, police say they recovered a second high-powered AR-15 style rifle.
So he gets out, lays on the ground, and is a compliant freaking pussy when there's other guys with guns. But when there's citizens who have given up their guns because of all the gun laws and they want more gun laws, then he's empowered and he shoots and kills a bunch of freaking people. But he doesn't shoot at armed people. Gee, Rick, I wonder why that happens. Maybe we need more laws. Yeah, okay, that's it, you freaking idiots.
And they also found multiple handguns in this Highwood home where Crimo lived with his uncle. That uncle says he saw no red flags.
Well, that's because you're a left-wing idiot. You didn't see flags because you're a damn fool. Anybody look at this kid? He was arrested twice before for saying, I'm going to kill everyone in my family. He tried to commit suicide. This idiot. No, there was no red flags. Everything was fine. Well, you're a freaking idiot.
There's no warning signs.
But years before this shooting, officials say Highland Park police had 2 encounters with Cremo. The first in April of 2019, after relatives say Cremo attempted suicide.
Attempting suicide? That might be a clue. Gee, I wonder if I'm committing suicide if I should go out and be able to buy freaking guns. Yeah, according to the government, you can. Because they did a background check and the government knew this. More government failure, more laws that didn't work. Now you listen to his charging sheet, and he's going to be charged with 15, maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe even 90 different crimes. But yet, if we had more laws, that would help all the dead people. Bullshit.
The second, months later, after he allegedly threatened to kill family members, officials say police confiscated 16 knives, a sword, and a dagger.
Okay, I'm kind of confused on this, on why they confiscated all these knives, sword, and dagger, and yet they passed him on a background when he went to buy a gun. Illinois State Police is responsible for concealed carry and the FOIA cards. If you don't have a FOIA card, which means you have to have a background, you can't buy ammo or guns. So you have to apply for the FOIA card. His dad sponsored him on his FOIA card saying he was a good guy. And his dad sponsored him, even though he said he was going to kill the family and he attempted suicide. His dad said, he's a good guy, he'll be all right, he should have a FOIA card. And then Illinois State Police said, you know what, he tried to kill himself, it's in his record, yeah, we went to his house, yeah, you know what, we felt that he was such a danger when he threatened to kill his family that we took all his knives, but we're going to go ahead and approve his thing to have a gun. And now when he kills people, it's those mean weapons and guns, and it's the mean gun owners, and everyone that owns a gun is mean. And if we just had more laws, then the government would have done good. Stop it, people.
There was no probable cause to arrest. There were no complaints.
I don't believe there's no probable cause to arrest. When he threatens to kill a family, he's a danger to the public and others. They arrest people for videotape them for disturbing the peace. You mean a guy videotaping a cop is more of a danger and they can arrest them, but you can't arrest a guy who threatens to kill his whole family? Bullshit. I don't believe this. This is government failure. They dropped the book, and then they didn't do it, and now they're trying to cover their ass. More government failure. This entire thing, just like every shooting, is government failure, or it's a government plan because they want more gun violence so they can blame the gun and get more guns and get more laws and get rid of pesky citizens who own guns.
That were signed by any of the victims.
Officials say 3 months later, Cremo obtained a firearm owner's ID card after being
sponsored
by his father. Illinois State Police say there was an insufficient. Robert Cremo III charged with.
Shocking! The state police government suddenly has a great explanation on why they failed. There was insufficient basis. So we couldn't arrest him when he threatened to kill his family, but we could take his knives and swords from him. And when he attempted suicide, we know there's mental health issues, and we don't do anything, but there was insufficient basis. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's the ticket. It wasn't government failure.
Illinois State Police say there was an insufficient basis to establish a clear and present danger and deny the FOID application. Cremo is expected to make his video appearance in court this morning.
Okay, so let's look at a little thing that Illinois did. This actual community where he shot up. So this little law is signed into effectiveness on June 25th, 2013. Wow, man. Highland Park was in on the gun shit early, weren't they? Wow, no modified assault weapons, no high capacity, outlaw this, outlaw magazines, outlaw 22 magazine feeding feed, outlaw striker, Armcorps, MAC-10, SR, AR-10, AR, all the guns, a fixed capacity mag, 5 rounds, 2 bag, no muzzle brakes, no any, how do we define section assault weapons, large capacity mags? Man, look at Highland Park. Man, those guys were on it. They were keeping their people safe. Look at all these freaking laws that were signed in. Didn't do a damn thing. Laws don't work. Stop the bullshit. And I'm going to end this with a great soundbite from Rakiki Law. I'll probably screw up the name. Sorry, dude. I I didn't know this guy was such a patriot. I kind of jumped to conclusion that he was kind of in the weasel arena because he was a lawyer. Not necessarily a bad. I just call all lawyers kind of weasels. I know a lot of good lawyers, but they're still kind of weaselly. Anyway, so I didn't, and he invited me on, or somebody said he invited me on his show one time, and then we never hooked up, and I sent him my info, and he called. So I was a little turned off on him. But I had no idea he was a freaking patriot. A smart, educated, freaking patriot. And this right here, I'm like, dude, this guy's on my team. This is what America used to be. Listen up.
Before we start, the government should fear its citizens 100%.
Okay, so I just posted a little thing on, and I'll slide in a picture of the Eagle saying, hey, the 4th of July is to celebrate our independence, and there's more room on the calendar for a second date if our government don't get the message. I had over 6 or 8 different messages on this picture saying that they were going to report me to the government. I'm the problem. I'm trying to overthrow democracy. I'm the piece of shit. I'm the problem, not the government. The government should be... I had all these hate comments that I just block these freaking idiots when they say it. But I got a lot of shit from this little picture right here that I'm showing. And I don't understand how people don't understand that when the government fears the people, there is freedom. That's what our founders wanted. That's why they put the checks and balances. That's why they made it hard. That's why they didn't want government to be easy. They wanted it to be hard. And our government now is just freaking don't give a shit, and they don't fear the people. One incident on January 6th, and they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Back in our founders' days, they'd have been dragged out of the freaking White House, tar and feathered in the streets, and said, you work for us, you piece of shit, and don't forget it. And that's the way this country was founded.
Unironically, and without a hint of jokes, the government should fear the people, period.
Amen.
Because the alternative is the people fear the government, and that is fucking tyranny.
Amen. You go, boy.
You should become a government agent or official reluctantly in the service of your fellow man.
Okay, so that is a really key point, because when I was working as a cop, because of my background and my beliefs, I always said cops have too much power. Sometimes we do shit, and it was with the law, and I was like, man, this is bullshit. This shouldn't be happening. And, don't talk to the public. Don't tell them. I was always told, hey, man, don't tell them who we're looking for or whatever. They don't need to know. We'll find them, etc. And I just didn't like it. I'm like, you know what? We're supposed to be I always told the community when we were out there locking up their neighborhood what was going on, who we were looking for. And it was always like, oh, keep it secretive. They don't know. We can't trust the people. Our government is so secret and untrusting of the people. And then they want us to give them blind trust. And you freaking idiots on the left that want to send a social country blindly trust them and want more government, and then call me an evil one because I dislike, distrust, and want limited government? Fuck you. And I said that because he gets to say it. So I get to say it.
Not thinking that you get to be an administrator or controller of their fucking property.
Booyah!
And their fucking right. We have twisted government service into a position of power, but the word is government service, and the service is not to the government, but to the people. And these motherfuckers.
I'm always like, dude, I'm trying to clean up my language. I'm trying not to say the F word. When he busted that out, I was like, dude, you're my man.
Lord over us as a new aristocracy, a new ruling class of nobility. And they do so openly and in our faces. The founding fathers would roll in their fucking graves to see how we treat the government today.
Now, you people may think his language is vulgar or bad, but I'm telling you, I could see it in his eyes. He believes this from the bottom of his heart, and so do I. This country was founded by great people with great ideas, the huge human experiment of the freaking ages, and we rose to the top with those ideas. And we are falling rapidly because we're abandoning those ideas.
They should serve in fearful respect. In the same way that the Bible uses fear, reverence of their God, because the populace, the people, the citizenry are the God of government, not the other way around.
Amen.
Whatever you think about January 6th.
Okay, so for those, I want to make sure, in case somebody's watching this later and don't understand. January 6th was a huge protest by patriots, American, flag-waving, didn't burn down anything. They knocked down a few barricades and said, this is our freaking house. And they went in and stormed the freaking Capitol and said, we're fed up. We didn't hang anybody. We didn't beat anybody. We didn't do anything. All the patriots did was walk in there and say, enough's enough. You better start remembering your fucking place. And you know what? They turned it into a resurrection. Oh my God. They tried to kill us. We need walls. And you know what? They built walls. They put up barbed wire. They increased their security. Okay? It's good that they fear the people. They should. Because the next January 6th may not be by a bunch of unarmed, peaceful people. Not that I would ever encourage violence.
For one moment, Congress was reminded what it was to be afraid of the citizenry. And they should have asked themselves in that moment why they deserved the fear that they had.
See, that's the problem. He's thinking logical that they should question, gee, I wonder why the people hate us so much. That's not what people in power do. People in power are like, I'm in power and I'm going to use that to keep my power. And anybody that threatens my power, I will use my power against them and crush them. And I will make them fear me so others will not challenge my power. See, you can't think like a rational, country-loving patriot and try and describe people in power, because it doesn't work. Power changes everything.
Because they lost the trust of the governed. They lost the trust of the people they committed to serve. Because they didn't serve them, they ruled them. In the United States, we do not, friends, we do not have rulers. We have public servants.
Man, how freaking true. I am so glad to see, I don't know if you how much younger he is than me, but to see other people that still have this strong belief in the power of the people and we the people and how our government is out of fucking control.
They have forgotten that. They have forgotten what public service means.
Okay, if you want to go watch his thing, it's not that long. It's on Rikiki Law. Government should fear the people. Rikiki Law rants. Good for him. Freaking great job. I think this is very appropriate with the government failures of this shooting. All right, we'll end that there. Hey, I usually don't ask, but if you can like and share, maybe I'll start asking and see if that changes, because shit, my videos got low likes. All right, y'all have a good one.